I'm sorry, I just think she's a great woman, and great women exist in all colors. Hey guys, and welcome back to Bumbleclap Reactions with your girl D-Ray Love. I know it's been a while. I took a short break while I was waiting for the new Pen Game episodes to come through. But also, it was the 6 weeks holidays and things were really hectic. Sorry I've been away for a couple of weeks, but I am back and we have a lot to do, okay? We've got new Pen Game battles. We've got things popping off in the culture. You guys know what I'm talking about. The whole Ginga Jay back chat fiasco. We've got to talk about it. I mean, we are a Pen Game reaction channel. We watch Ginga Jay each and every week. We love him. We support him. We catch jokes with him. You know, I know him personally, you know, as a friend. So for me, I wasn't even sure I should even do this video because I respect him, honestly, for, you know, what he's been able to do, what he's been able to build since he's come out of prison. Obviously, I only met him when he'd come out of prison, but he's done things for me. You know, he's put me on to certain shows and we know similar people, we're in similar circles, and it's just, I'm just blown away, honestly, at the whole thing. Like, I kind of don't even know where to start. First of all, this is not going to be like a hate train video or anything like that, but we are going to get into the specifics, get into, you know, what's gone down, get into what the hell this is all about, okay? We are going to get into it, but before we do that, obviously, please do like, share, and subscribe. So many of you have joined us recently, so I hope that you're excited for everything we've got coming. If you don't know already, I do have another channel called D-Ray's World. We're having a podcast coming soon. We're gonna also have vlogs coming soon, and there's also gonna be a lot more content over there. So please do head over to D-Ray's World and subscribe over there. The link is in the comments. Now, obviously, this is not our usual type of episode. Usually we're here talking about Pen Game. This is completely left field for us over here at Bumbleclap Reactions, but I had to do a video. As a black woman myself, as a Pen Game supporter, as somebody in the culture who's been in the culture for years, under the radar, because every time I've gone viral, I hide, okay? Like, yes, I'm a coward, whatever. Every time I've gone viral, I hide because I just, like, I don't want, like, weird, right? I don't want the attention, which is so strange because I'm an artist and I'm like out there and it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, moving on. Backchat is known for bull, okay? Straight off the bat. Like, it's not known for a politically correct conversation. It's not known for an intelligent conversation. It's not known for a peaceful conversation. And I think if you've watched Backchat or ever understood the people that are put on Backchat, or even the people you were sat next to, you would have known that this was the wrong way to go. I can completely relate with this, okay? I went on the King Rich's podcast and it was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. I ended up walking out of the podcast. He says he kicked me out. I'm saying I walked out.
We're not on the same mental capacity.
We're not on the same level playing field. Your consciousness is not as high as mine. We ain't speaking the same language. Yeah,
but you're on my show. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, but was I asked to come here?
Why are you here
I was asked
then?
to come here.
Well, why are you here? So if you realise that I'm not on your level and not on your intelligence or
I didn't
mental
know that.
capacity.
This is the first time I met you.
And let me finish. Since you realise that, you can go. You don't have to stay.
But did I say anything about not staying?
No, but obviously, I'm obviously beneath you and I'm the moderator
I never
here.
said that you were beneath me.
Bro, stop interrupting, bro. I let you speak.
All right, you know what? I am going to leave. Thank you.
Get out, man. Get out. You're just jarring. It is a get out thing. It is a get out thing. It is a get out thing. Why are you talking? Then get out. Just get out. Just leave. Just leave.
All right, whatever.
Just leave. Just leave, bro. Just get out. Stop talking, bro. Just get out, bro. No one cares. I don't care. Just leave, man. Get out, bruv. What the hell? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Yeah. Just get out. Just get out of the building. Just get out of the building. Just get out of the building. Get out of the building. Get out of the building. Just get out, man. I don't know who people think they are, bro. Get me? You're not in control here, bruv.
Wow, that escalated quickly. Yeah.
That did escalate.
Nah, man.
Because when you said I could leave, I didn't leave at that point. I left afterwards when I wanted to motherfucking leave. Do you get what I'm saying? having a back and forth about misogyny. And for me, my back was up. He was disrespectfully kind of addressing us and talking to us in a way that I just felt was not professional or respectful to talk to women in that way. He was rolling his eyes at things I was saying to do with spirituality and acting just a little bit immature and a little bit uneducated. And we got into it and a back and forth, and we ended up, you know, sparring, and I ended up doing a whole campaign on TikTok to get him cancelled because how he'd been speaking to black women, because then it came up that he'd been speaking to a lot of black women in this way and kicking a lot of black people off. And, you know, it was seeming a little self-hate-ish, you know. Then videos came up of him saying he doesn't like black women, he only dates white women, and this, that, and the fourth. So that was a whole thing, right? So the irony for him to be sat there tight-lipped during this conversation trying to push the heat onto someone else is absolutely diabolical. Now, not only that, obviously I know Ginga Jay as well. I also know China and have got into a back and forth with China before, but we did squash it and he apologized and we're cool now and everything's fine. So knowing these men and watching this show is so awkward, right? Because I was with Ginge in the beginning. I was with him. I'm sure you all were. I'm sure we all were. I was with him. I was like, okay, it's fine to have a preference. I have a preference. I haven't dated white men since I was young. Would I if the situation arose and I liked him? Probably. But am I looking for outside of my race long term? No, not really. But if that's what God had for me, then, you know, I'm not going to say no to love. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, I would like to date within my race. I'm very pro-black. I'm very pro-carrying on a black bloodline, even though I am mixed race. So, you know, there is going to be white in my bloodline regardless. But, you know, it is what it is. At first, I was like, okay, you've got a preference. That's fine. But then things started popping up.
No, I don't date black women because of this.
Didn't he?
You didn't understand me. You didn't want to accept the fact that I said it. I'm triggered.
Cap in the
I told you, don't get me on.
Started obviously disclosing that he doesn't date black women because of how they've treated him. Now, you have to understand that people live and see themselves through eyes of their experience. So anything that they have been through is how their perception is going to view everything that comes up. So if he feels that when he was dedicated and in love and committed to this black woman, and she broke his heart and she discarded of him and she made him have all of these feelings of insecurity and self-doubt and not good enough and not worthy enough because he'd obviously gone to jail. He expected she would stick by him, and she didn't, which, as you can imagine, would drive anybody up the wall. That would drive anybody insane. It's not just like, you know, that's something that would make you feel some type of way. However, it's kind of still not an excuse to tar an entire race with the same brush. It's just like saying somebody goes out there and commits a crime and they're white. Does that mean that the whole white race are criminals? Does that mean that that particular person is the spokesperson for an entire race? No, not at all. I do not doubt that he has trauma that he's been through and things that have made him have these views and opinions. But I also feel like maybe, you know, in ways he felt not appreciated or accepted by the black community because of his appearance. That is speculation. I'm not 100% sure about that, but that's kind of what I got from what he was saying. And I feel like, you know, because he said that certain, you know, black men and women hadn't stuck by him, it kind of left him in the dust and such and such. And then he's got this, you know, Indian lady that's come and she's provided for him and she's give him, you know, safety and solace and support. Obviously, your mind is gonna, you know, assimilate, oh, over here is safe and over here is danger. That is just natural. However, I think there comes a time when you have to start working through your traumas and you have to start understanding that what they did to you was not necessarily personal. It was due to their perception and what they were going through in their own lives. And it doesn't mean that everybody else is like that. It doesn't mean that everybody else is going to treat you in that way. The problems then got further when it started talking about, you know, his mom and how nobody could live up to his mom, but then saying that when his mom lashes out, he doesn't like it. That was incredibly contradictory, because if your mom does things that you don't like, how can your mom be held to a certain high esteem nobody could feel, essentially? There's a lot of very intricate things that was said that I think actually some people even missed what the trigger was. And the trigger wasn't they brought up his mom, his woman speaking Gujarati, which he did say in a TikTok video that he was upset that, you know, people were people were speaking about his wife speaking Gujarati, but I don't think they were trying to be racist. I think they were literally just saying she was to get mad and start cussing you out in her language. Is that acceptable? I don't actually think that was intended to be racist, but I'm just saying. Trigger came when one of the ladies asked him a question, and then she was like, I don't give a shit about the answer. That is where the trigger was. And I'm not gonna lie, that would trigger me. Like, what? You asked me a question but you don't want to listen to the answer. In fact, that was the trigger for me on the King Richard show, so I can completely relate with that trigger. However, I'm a retired crash out, so of course I can relate. But yeah, I feel like that was the trigger, and understandably I understand why he was triggered with that. The problem then came when it was, I hate black women, I hate black women, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not here to bash Ginge or choose sides or do any of that. But I'm going to be honest. When, is it Cookie? I really don't know the names. I'm so sorry. When one of the ladies said, just sounds like you hate black women, I'm not going to lie, that would have been my response. Everything was sounding like you just hate black women. Like black women are the bane of your life and you would not touch them with a 5-foot barge pole. Like that is how that came across. And whether you intended it to be that harsh, I've got no idea. I think you was just honestly speaking the truth, which is fine. As I said, preferences are fine. But tarring an entire race based on your own personal experiences is not okay. Like, I felt offended, and I know, Ginger, I know you, sir. If you're watching this, if you're ever gonna watch this, you probably won't even watch it, but I know you and I love you, and I've cared about you in this journey, and I've seen your growth from coming out of prison, what you've built and who you have become and what you've poured into. And I have seen your woman stand by you and lift you up and build you and kind of help push you to have that stability that you have now, and I applaud her. And I don't think that is just based on her race. I'm sorry. I just think she's a great woman, and great women exist in all colors. So I just feel like that is where your mindset is a little bit warped, because we didn't deserve that as black women, mixed race or not. We did not deserve that. And the kind of like, where's your hair? That was your kind of school playground trigger kind of dash, where I think I've actually heard you say it before, but maybe we understand you don't like unnatural, women. We understand you don't like wigs and lashes and all these things, but they're not your women. You don't have to like what they're doing or use their looks as a weapon, essentially, because your woman's got hair down her back. I mean, a lot of black women have hair down their back under their wig. Cardi B, as a black Hispanic woman, or I hope she's black with all the N-words she be dropping, has got hair down to her bum underneath her wigs. So to say that was a little ignorant and a little underhanded and unnecessary, I think. And I feel like, as I respect you as a person, I respect Ginge, I feel like I've got to give grace for obviously the trauma that you've been through with people, and I can appreciate that, but it does not excuse like the harsh, hateful words that you put across that screen, that you perpetrated into the air, into the culture, onto the internet. Hate that we get every single day from every other race. Hate and direct aggression that we receive every single day about our demeanor, about how we carry ourselves, about how we conduct ourselves, our attitude. Have you ever thought that maybe sometimes we have a right to defend ourselves, and that if a woman was constantly meek, that she would be completely walked over? I was literally attacked by a Just Eat delivery guy a couple of months ago. Like, my toe ended up bloody. He elbowed me in the face. Like, we as women need to be protected by black men, not torn down. Like, I understand you got upset, I understand you got triggered, but you could have said something like, well, I'm not effing you, or you're not on this wood, it doesn't matter. Like, you could have dashed something like that and kept it light and kept it like, okay, cool, whatever, you've got your opinion, I've got mine. That would have kept it gangster, that would have kept it G. But the crash out was immense. Like, with still having those triggers, babe, I'll be so honest, therapy is the only way. Therapy, meditation, nature, walks, massages, like learning about your emotions and how they come out, learning about how your body holds emotions. Maybe there's things you've been through that are, causing you to stay tense and causing you to be on edge constantly so that it's boom, 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 it's go time. Obviously, you've been on high alert for 11 and a half years. We have to take that into consideration. And this is just meant to be a light-hearted, stir up the internet, not that serious type of chat. That's why they did it. It was almost a setup. Trend Central are known for perpetuating this type of conversation, this type of narrative amongst the black community. And I think they knew that it could go this way. If Ginga Jay said, don't get me on the show, I don't date black women, like, you knew exactly where this was going. So I feel like Trend Central definitely have to take some accountability in that in itself. I do just think that Ginge, like, ooh, you might have up. Like, you might have up, because I'm not gonna lie, babe, like, I was hurt. And us here at Bumblecart Reactions, like, we judge things honestly. As I said, I'm raw. I'm always going to give you my honest opinion. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. And I'm being honest, I was hurt. I was kind of like shocked. You know, I knew you're a comedian. I know you're outlandish and you say how you feel and all that stuff. And again, your preferences is fine. But to then start screaming, I hate black women, is crazy to me. We're going to watch a few clips right now about why his preference is so strong. Let's just watch this bit right here.
I'm a Caribbean man. So Indian. Yeah, we're West Indian anyway. So it makes sense. The cultures link up. I'm a Rastafarian. Do you know what I'm saying? She's Sikh. There's a lot of things that just...
Now, I don't know about all of that with the Rastafarian and then like matching up with Sikh. I actually don't have any, knowledge of, too much in-depth knowledge of the Sikh religion, so I couldn't say. As growing up as a Rasta, I know the number one thing you get taught is to respect your women. The one thing you get taught is to move with grace and honor. The one thing you get taught is to, love all type shit. So yeah, it's not really aligning. The actions are not really aligning with the religion for me right now. But yeah, as you can see, he's obviously talking about, why he dates outside his race. Right now, I thought this was interesting. He was describing why he has the attributes that he has, even though he's full black. And obviously he was talking about it goes back to a slave master. Anyway, listen to this part.
Skipped 3 generations. The slave master to my family, his name was Francois. So when he escaped on the railroads, my great-great-great-grandmother escaped on the railroads, but she was his main slave in the house. So he used her. So when she escaped, she had a child, and he was Ginger. And then it's come through the bloodlines now, but there's been no white people in my family until the slave master.
How did you figure that out?
So I found this super interesting, right? Because I did see a TikTok video. It was actually on one of Bouncer's videos talking about his actions being like a throwback from, say, slave masters, because of it's so many generations removed and it's ingrained in him and etc, etc. I have a slightly different take. Now, my take is that actually maybe he feels that during his childhood, and this is again speculation, I'm really not sure, but in his childhood potentially, that he wasn't accepted by the black community in the way that he would have wanted to be, or he didn't feel as included or as a part of it because of his different appearance, even though despite having black or maybe darker skinned parents. So I can understand that maybe there is a little bit of a conflict there with how he fits in exactly within black culture or within, with black people, or maybe there's like a certain discomfort there. And the only reason I'm saying that is because, not that I have any issues at all, but I was heavily bullied by darker skinned girls when I was younger, because I was lighter skinned, and I was very much bullied for a multitude of reasons. But I didn't grow up saying, oh, I hate all black girls or dark skinned girls, or I hate all black people. That was just never a thing for me. I just never even thought of it. It was just those people were bad. Those were people that I weren't going to speak to again. Those were people I would stay away from. Those type of people I would stay away from. So I think it's really important to understand that people interpret their experiences completely differently based on how they were brought up. And if he was brought up feeling a little out of place or feeling a little uncomfortable, as he said, being bullied by his teachers, and it being brought up all the time, obviously he would feel a certain sense of discomfort, in his own skin. And maybe that is where some of it subconsciously comes from. He was then done dirty by his own, He was then cheated on. He wasn't upheld. He wasn't supported. Everybody turned their back on him. Then a lot of stuff happened to him in a short space of time. Whether he went and got therapy after this, determines, you know, where he's at mentally after all this stuff has happened. And I'm so sorry to talk so openly about your business online. I felt slightly uncomfortable about that, but you have made it public. So I hope that, you know, this is okay, me actually making this video, because I'm making this video to say that there's a lot of reasons why people have this mentality. I'm not excusing it. I'm not apologizing for him. Because actually he doesn't apologize. He apologized for how he acted, but he didn't apologize for what he said, because he meant what he said and he's standing on business. And that for me does make me a little bit uncomfortable as his friend, because if you hate black women, then well, just F me then, innit? Like, we're just not prejudiced no more because you don't like black women. So, and you know, I am one of the women that are more natural. I do have natural hair. Yeah, I do have my lashes and my nails, but everything else is completely natural on me. And, you know, I advocate for being comfortable in your own skin. So it's a difficult one, because I definitely still feel offended. Please do not get that twisted. I am trying to look at, you know, the reasons why potentially he could have got to this point. I saw the trigger of feeling disrespected and feeling hurt. That's where it actually went left. Actually, let's see if we can pull that up.
Let me say something.
Not my man.
No,
My
let me
man's over
talk.
there.
Ladies,
And he likes
please.
my attitude.
Come on, please.
Watch this. Watch this. No, wait. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. You just triggered me a little bit, because you did something that all the other black women used to do. You asked me a question. You didn't let me answer it, and then you said you don't give a shit.
I don't though. That's the truth.
I know you don't. So what's the point of the conversation?
Because to me, your point is invalid.
And then what's the
So
point?
I don't care
So
for
why
the
would I keep
answer, that's
dating you?
why.
So wait, no. So why would I keep dating you?
No, but me is me as.
So why
Zilla.
would I keep
I'm
dating you?
all the black women out there.
What did you say?
You see what Zilla said? I am Zilla. I'm not all of the black women out there. And that is exactly the point. He definitely got triggered by the disrespect. Obviously, he has been disrespected in the past. But please let me tell you, and do not get it twisted, any woman can disrespect you in that way. Any race, any color, creed can disrespect you in that way if that is their character. These are character traits that you're talking about. These are character flaws and personality traits that people have. These are not things based on race.
Because it's only black women that seem to have this attribute. You won't find no other woman in no other culture that's able to act in the mannerisms that a black woman does when attitude starts to creep up.
There were a whole conversation that I believe we may have had, Ginga. I'm not sure, but I personally have had conversations about women wearing wigs to appease to a European style, and that we've been influenced in that way because of the European style of beauty that we have presented in front of us, and a pressure to conform to everything neat and tidy and swept away and greased back and pulled back, and you know, this type of look for professionalism or for work or whatever. He should have said, that's it. Like, this is why I don't date black women, but rather than it then turning into World War IV.
6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wait for it. And I'll bring my natural hair Indian woman in here now.
And then what?
She looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on your ground.
But the crowd
Shut
is
up, man.
silent.
Now, this part got under my skin. Now, you know why this got under my skin? Because what on God's green earth? So because her hair's down her back, that makes her a 10. Lots of black women have hair down their back. My hair's down my back, you know? And yeah, I'm mixed race, but I'm still a black woman. We're not going into that today, so do not come for me in the comments talking about I'm not black. We're not having that conversation. His friend, I feel uncomfortable about the situation. I think even he knows he acted completely out of left field. In fact, I know he does, but he still stands on what he said. I don't know even if he cares to go to therapy or to change that mindset or to explore, you know, the ways in which he may feel rejected by the black community, or the ways in which he may feel unaccepted in some, you know, areas, or just genuinely not supported. And he's valid to feel that way. If that is his experience, we are nobody to take that away from him. However, you cannot crash out like that and let so many casualties come from it. And those casualties being your fans, your friends, the people that support you, the people that love you. You've literally put a bullet through everybody with one crash out, you know, and that's detrimental, unfortunately. It'd be hard to support that, knowing you don't support us, in a sense. Like, you support us? Do you love us still? Or
It's black women!
I hate black women.
Exactly!
I hate black women.
Exactly! But her...
I hate black women.
Is it just them black women that you were saying that you don't like? Because it sounded like it was everybody. I'm saying all that to say this. It was wrong what you did. It was wrong what you said. You're not wrong for how you feel, because that's how you feel and that's authentic to you. But it hurts. As a black person, as a black woman, attitude is necessary in certain areas, and every woman has attitude. Aggression is necessary in certain areas by every human being, but it's always the black woman that's aggressive, when really it's just standing on business. And people don't like when you stand on business in this life, because it threatens their sense of self, of this hate online. We don't need any more of this narrative that black women are this and black women are that, because it's just simply not true. There's a lot of black women that carry a lot of grace and pride, and you know, their homes are together and their families are together and everybody's happy, and they're fighting for their families. They're flying the flag and they're doing everything that they need to do with poise and with grace and with power and strength. So to strip those women of that with simply saying I hate black women, all black women are basically pieces of shit, aggressive and don't listen, it is not true, you know, because as I've done work and self-work on myself, I found that I had to work on my listening skills. I had to work on, you know, not talking before somebody else has finished a sentence. These are things you need to work on, because when you are brought up in trauma, and when you do have things like ADHD and stuff like, which I have, you have certain triggers and certain things that you need to put in check, because if you don't know how to control yourself, you're going to lose control, and in turn you're going to f things in your life, which is where we're at. And this is the situation that we're having with Ginge. Is Ginge cancelled? I don't think we can cancel him in this sense. If anything, it's just kind of made him go a little bit more viral. I am hurt also that he doesn't really apologize for what happened. He more apologizes for the crash out. Of course he's got to love black people, because that's where he works and that's, you know, what he does. But a couple of things he said came across incredibly racist. Black attitude just happened. That one was crazy, because it's all spitting vim and venom for black people. That's what I'm saying. This is a deeper rooted situation. There's more going on inside internally, and I get it, like, but it needs dealing with, because you cannot show up in the culture like this. You cannot show up in the spaces that you are in like this. A majority of your fan base are black women. So what do we do now? You know, black men who I'm sure wouldn't want their women spoken about like that, wouldn't want their moms and their sisters spoken about in that way. And it was funny that you would hold your mom at such a high regard, but then disregard every other black person on the planet. Apologized for the crash out, but he didn't apologize for the message. Kind of where we're at with it. I don't really know how to feel about that, because you're not sorry for what you said. You're sorry for how you said it. I think more people have a problem with what was said rather than how it was said. Everybody has a crash out, and although it was very uncalled for and very crazy, we don't understand how people are going to react to their triggers. I got triggered on the King Rich's show because he showed me disrespect. He tried to speak to me any kind of way, and you can't do that to me because I don't have it. So that was kind of where Ginge was at the same thing. Like, you want to, you know, why are you asking me question if you're not going to listen to the answer? Like, are you stupid? So I completely get where it went left. But the problem is when you start screaming I hate black women, when you start saying this black attitude, when you start saying where's your hair, obviously you know the hair's under the wig, so it's really not valid. White women wear tape-ins, Indian women wear wigs, Chinese people wear bang clip-ons, all sorts of stuff, but they probably don't. Probably watch the video and you have your own opinions. So this is your time. Please head over to the comments and let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if we're gonna just kind of sweep this under the carpet and move on, which I don't actually think we can do, and I don't think that it would be good to do that. I think we want another podcast, one where somebody is more conscious and more woke and actually, you know, aligned with being open-minded and non-judgmental, because this is a situation that could actually bring us a lot of growth if it's handled properly. If we just allow it to sweep under and his career just goes down the drain, or it dries up, or, which I don't wish for him, by the way, at all, because I don't actually think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to get cancelled. But if people start to drag him left, right and centre, you know, any press is good press. I feel like if he can grow from this and he can understand the points that people are saying, and he can look a little bit more into trauma responses and PTSD and stuff like that, I think we get a lot further in this conversation, in mental health, in post-jail rehabilitation, in programs for men that need to be assisted, you know, into society. I know they have things like probation and stuff like that, but do they really have something that is, you know, treating and aiding the minds of people that have been out of society for 11.5 years? Ginge had no idea not to come on there and basically use himself as a spit roast. He had no idea that he shouldn't come out here and actually tell how he really feels. I'm somebody who tells how I really feel, so I'm no one to talk. I will crash out if you say the wrong thing. Used to crash out if you say the wrong thing. I don't do that anymore because I've grown, I've learned. You know, make sure you like, share and subscribe. A little bit of a different video about to get into pen games. This is going to be the first and last I will say of it unless something else happens in the development. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. This has been Bomb Clock Reactions with your girl D-Ray Love. You know to like, share and subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. A little different to usual. D-what? D-Ray. D-what? D-Ray. Every time I come up in the spot, D-Ray. Every time I come up in the house, D-Ray. Mwah.
Yes, I saw me like it.